Wait. Right. Okay, so hello, Annie. And we were talking last week about multiple intelligences, if you remember. And then you have homework to do. Let's wait until the end to talk about it. And then we stopped the class in the middle of the topic in this part. Benefits of multiple intelligences. And then we said that all are smart, even though we want to say that some are stupid, but all are smart and all are equally celebrated. Some might be inclined to do math. Some might be inclined to do social skills like politics and debates, and some might be inclined to do English, but all the same, equally celebrated, right? Hey, yeah, abajo. So now, remember that we talk about teacher center and a student center, right? We said that teacher center are the activities that a teacher does based on what, Annie?
I'm sorry, can you repeat it, please?
Yes, last week we said that we have two types of activities: teacher center activities and student center activities, right? The teacher center activities are activities based on what?
A ver si estoy bien. Are based on her intelligence or her abilities.
Very good. Based on teachers' type of intelligence, right? Student center activities, therefore, are activities based on students' type of intelligences, okay? But we said very importantly that teacher center activities should be minimal, remember that? Because even though it's the easiest way, even though it's the simplest way to do all the activities according to us, it would be dangerous for the class, it would be counterproductive for the class, it will be boring, anarchy, chaos, and so forth. So you need to have activities based on your students. Okay, so let's talk about specific practical activities that we do according to the intelligences based on based on the teacher's intelligence and based on the students' activities. Right? Classroom application. There we go. So we have the first one. Wait. Yes. Verbal linguistic. Verbal linguistic. Teacher center. Can you read this, Jessica, please?
Present content verbally. Ask questions, allow and look for student feedback in reviews.
This is the easiest, right? I just walk into the classroom, stand in the front of the classroom, present everything verbally, and ask questions. It's okay, remember, if it's only one part minimal of your class. The rest should be based on student-centered activities. Can you read them, Jessica?
Students present material. Students read content and prepare a presentation for her classmates. Students debate over an issue.
See the difference? Here the teacher on the left, teacher center, does the activity. Then the activities from the students do the activities. No? Student presents, student reads, students read, students debate, etc. See the difference? Teacher-centered action is done by the teacher, while student-centered actions are done by students. All right, now, logical mathematical. Can you read this, Annie?
Yes. Provide brains, teasers, and
Annie? Annie? I think Annie's gone. Ana se fue. Ah, no, esa es Laura, ¿va? El otro. A ver, Kislev, read that one.
Provide brain teasers or challenging questions to begin lessons. Make logical connections between the subject matter and authentic situations to answer the question why.
Very good. See, teacher provides, teacher makes connections, teacher does the thing. Annie, you're back. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry, my internet is bad. I have a backup.
We read this. Can you read this, Annie?
Yes.
Wow, what happened? What happened? Huh? That was weird. Okay, do this.
Okay. Students categorize information in logical sequence for organization. Students create graphs or charts to explain written information. Students participate in web quests associated with the content.
Check it out. Students categorize, students create, students participate, students do. Okay, so when a student is logical mathematical, they can categorize information. They can create graphs or charts, mind maps, maybe. You understand mind maps? Excuse me. The students can participate. Web quest. What is web quest? It's an investigation of the internet. That's what it is. Colloquially speaking, the students can Google the investigation, right? They Google the investigation. Okay. All right. Badly kinesthetic. You hear Gabi?
Thanks, teacher. Use prompts during lecture. Provide tangible items pertaining to content for students to examine. Review using sport-related examples through a boil to someone to answer a question.
Very good. So the teacher that is kinesthetic will give a lecture, o sea, va a dar una presentación using props. You understand props? Like objects to explain something. This is my cell phone. And if I want to talk about cell phone, I grab my cell phone, and that is a prop. Okay. And you also will do balls, throw balls, a lot of cutouts, put it in a ball. I mean, something that has to do with the hands. That's a kinesthetic teacher. Now, what about kinesthetic students, Gabi?
Kinesthetic students?
Yeah, student center and kinesthetic.
Kinesthetic.
Yeah, this one here.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
I think like kinesthetic students.
No, can you read this?
Okay. Kinesthetic. Students present material, that's right.
No, students use computers.
Excuse me. Students use computers to research subject matter. Students create prompts of their own explaining subject matter. Shadow, boxes, mobiles. Students create review games.
Check it out. Students create is the first time that we use that word. A kinesthetic student or an action or activity for kinesthetic students, they love to create. So every time you have a chance, or you can include that in your lesson plan, have activities such as, let's make a collage and have students cut the pictures in the collage. Or let's make I don't know, you know, the play doll, the thing that you play with it, use that. Or a tic-tac-toe, but have them do the drawing of the game. That's what keep them busy, and most importantly, keep them focused on the subject. All right, visual spatial. Paula, you here or you're busy?
No, I'm here. Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay. When presenting the information, use visuals to explain content. PowerPoint, slides, charts, graphs, cartoons, videos, overheads, smart boards.
Very good. When a person that is visual, a teacher, use a lot of PowerPoint presentations, mind maps, graphs, cartoons, which is okay. Again, but if it has to be minimal. If it's too much, it's going to be boring. Now, what about student-centered activities for the visual spatial, Paola?
Have students work individually or in groups to create visuals pertaining to the information. Posters, timelines, models, PowerPoint, slides, maps, illustrations, charts,
Concept mapping.
concept mapping. Sorry, it's because with my cell phone I can read it very
Right.
well.
Right. No, I understand. No worries. No.
I try it.
Concept mapping is the same as mind map. You know, like que parecen como telarañas. So a student that is visual, he would love to do mind maps. He would love to do PowerPoint slides, lots of pictures, lots of illustration images. It's fine. You just need to combine them, right? That's the point. Wait. Yeah. Good. What about musical, Annie?
Play music in the classroom during reflection periods. Show examples or create musical rhythms for students to remember things.
Have you had a teacher that while you're doing an exam or you were doing an exam, he had music on it? I had, you know, like classic music or instrumental music, like very relaxing music. It's fine, but some students don't like that. Even though it's a very nice music, very smooth music, but some students don't like that. They hated it. So be careful with that. You can have music. You can have, if you're musical. I'm not musical, but there are teachers that are musical, like my wife, and she always likes singing and talking in rhythms. I don't like it. But if you are a musical teacher, it's fine, but remember again, it's minimal. Your participation is minimal, okay? Student-centered, Annie.
Create a song or a melody with the content embedded. For memory, use well-known songs to memorize formulas, skills, or test content.
Very good, excellent. What I was when I was having this activity many years ago, do you remember that song, la de mesa que más aplauda? Well, it was famous because of the Shrek movie, but it's an old song. And I had my students singing something like mesa no, decía mesa que más aplauda, señor de grammar or something like that. They had to do a sentence, and it's fine. I mean, I hardly ever, me, Gerson, I hardly ever do it because I'm not musical. But you will have students that are musical and they will enjoy having some sort of these activities, like catching movies to remember things, use songs or lyrics to memorize some of the grammar. That's what it means with the content embedded. That means that you have, if you're doing, I don't know, simple past, or you will have yesterday song, sang in the classroom, things like that, okay? Interpersonal. He's left here. He's left? No. Jessica?
Be aware of body language and facial expressions. Offer assistance whenever needed. Encourage classroom discussion.
Very good. So as a teacher that is interpersonal like myself, I do a lot of body language, and I'm paying attention to my students' body language. I am very approachable for offering assistance, and I love to be, I love activities such as mingling, like find someone who, pair work, trios. I want everybody to talk, okay? Now, what about students? Jessica?
Encourage collaboration among peers. Rewards strengths, interpersonal connection, peer feedback, and peer tutoring. Students present to the class. Encourage group editing.
Very good. Check it out. A student that is interpersonal, they love to work in pairs. They love to work in teams. They love tutoring, peer tutoring. They love, like, who wants to help Juanito Perez? Jessica, me, pick me, yo miss, yo le ayudo. Right? Students love to present in front of the classroom. Working teams, that's the point when it's interpersonal. Intrapersonal is the quite opposite. Can you read it, Annie?
Yes. Encourage journaling as a positive outlet for expression, introduce web blogs, make individual question welcome, create a positive environment.
Very good. The teacher that is intrapersonal, first of all, in my opinion, teachers, this is a personal opinion, off the record. A teacher that is intrapersonal, you can't be totally intrapersonal when you're a teacher. A teacher should be always interpersonal, always like to be around people. But hey, there's some teachers that are intrapersonal. So they love working individually. They love being very quiet in the classroom. They love quietness in the classroom. They hardly ever talk about their lives in the classroom. They're very, what is the word? Reserved about talking to students, which is fine. But, I don't see it correctly. You have to connect with your students. Anyways, the student-centered interpersonal. Annie.
Journaling, individual research on content, Students create personal portfolios of work.
Very good. And these, the students in the interpersonal, they love working in teams. In interpersonal, no. They want to do it alone. You can tell us, no, means a mí póngame sola. O a mí póngame solo. Es que yo trabajo mejor. In the possible way, respect them. It's part of their nature. And they actually, they do very good work by themselves, right? Okay, and the last one, which is controversial, naturalistic, and you read it, Yavi.
Thanks, teacher. Take students outside to enjoy nature while in learning process lecture. Compare objective subject matter to natural occurrences. Relate subject matter to a stage that occur in natural, plants, water, etc.
Very good. The teacher that is naturalistic, which in my rancho we call it a different way. The teacher that is naturalistic will love taking them outside. They love talking to about natural connections, like, ay, es que está nublado y estoy triste hoy, you know, things like that. What about the students? And Gabby, yourself?
I think they don't motivate to speak about that.
Uh-huh. No, I mean student-centered activities.
Okay. A student organize those using natural cycles. Students make relationship among contact in the natural environment. How has natural has an impact? Students perform community service.
Very good. So students are more inclined to do categorizing with the nature, plants, and so forth. Okay. Let's go to the exercise number 3. Let me open it for you. Exercise 3. Just open it. Okay, no, that's what we did for homework. Okay, good. All right. Now, what about learning styles? So far, so good? Are we clear on the difference between a student-centered activity and a teacher-centered activity? Yes? One is made by the teacher, the other one is made by the student. Both are correct. Both are okay. The only difference is that teacher-centered activities, what should be more than a student-centered or less than a student-centered? Gabi? Milani?
Less.
Less, thank you,
Less.
Paola. Less student teacher center, and this is very important to emphasize, teachers, okay? Because it's the easiest to conduct, to only have activities that are teacher center is the easiest because it's our nature. Don't do that. It's going to be boring for your students and students will learn. You need to combine all the intelligences. Design a system. You decide today, one verbal, one mathematical. Tomorrow, one musical, one interpersonal. The day after tomorrow, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter how you organize it, but you must include all intelligences in your classroom. Okay, now learning styles. Introduction, can you read this, Jessica?
It refers to uniqueness of how each learner receives and processes new information through their sense.
Very good. Okay, continue. Go ahead, continue.
Okay. Each person is born with certain preference toward particular styles, but culture, experience, and development influence these preference.
Finish it.
The four most common learning styles are visual, oral, reading, writing, and kinesthetic, tactile.
Very good, tactile. Very good. So the learning styles, it refers to the way that we learn. Simple as that. The way that a person is inclined to learn. Some of us are better with, we were born with visual skills to learn, or writing, or some people listen to audiobooks, some people hate audiobooks and they prefer read books. So it's how a person prefers to learn something. That's what it means. Okay? Just a note, we are born with one or two preferences and learning styles, but at the end of our lives or during our lives, we develop all the skills. Like, for example, me, I hate reading. Well, I hated it reading. But then in one point of my life, I was a Spanish teacher. Why? I don't know why. Just they asked me to be a Spanish teacher. No de para extranjeros, sino de secundaria, de prepa. Lengua y comunicación se llamaba. So I had to read a book a month. So then I developed the activity, and now I still read a book a month. I love it. I found it like very, very interesting, and it helped me a lot, and blah, blah, blah. So I developed the reading skill for learning. Okay, so just a quick note, and let's talk about it during this part of the class. So we're going to see the four most common styles for learning. And the first one, and I dare to say that is most of the people, the visual learning style. Most of the people prefer to watch the movie than read the book. I used to be one of those, but then I started reading and I found out that books are better, but that's a whole different story. Most of people are visual. So can you read this, Gabby?
Thanks, teacher. The visual learning styles, visual learners process information most effectively when the information is seen. Graphs, charts, flows, charts, arrows, circles. Here, chase. This is the okay. Most people are visual learners.
Sí, organigrama, that's what it means. Los organigramas. Graphs, charts, flows, mind maps, images, pictures. So visual learners process information when the information is seen or represented in images, in graphs, and or you have a person that is learning something and then had post-its, pero de colores, no escritos, de colores. De rojo para no sé qué, de naranja para no sé qué tanto. That's visual. You need to have the visual. I hated it. I only have one black pen, and that's it. Gabby.
Thanks, Chair. And the colors is, for me, is very important because it's necessary to show the students for learning. Is very good for me, the colors.
Oh, hey, so you're visual. That's fine. And you're a girl. See, boys don't do that a lot, but yes, girls do that a lot. Now the next one. The oral learning style. Can you read it, Annie?
Yes. The oral learning style. Oral learners process information most effectively when spoken or heard. Lectures and discussions. They like to talk and enjoy music and dramas. They are excellent listeners. Only few people are oral learners.
Very good. Oral learners, they process more information when they listen to it. They love when a teacher is talking, they are paying attention. They like to be focused with music, for example, or they have the pen and they are reading or studying and they're like knocking the desk. Very annoying, but they need to hear a sound. Okay, they love audiobooks. They love soap operas, videos. Only few people are oral. Actually, it's not a rule, but most of the students that are bad in the school, they're oral. And explain why. They listen and they record, they memorize. So when the teacher is giving the explanation, they understood. They remember, they don't need more explanation. But because of the rest of us, the rest of the normal people, they need to have more practicing and more explanation. They get bored, they break into Spanish, they break into playing, and they break into problems because they're bored. One example is Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein, he was expelled like twice in his, if you read biography, he was expelled twice in the school because he was a child problem. No, the thing is that he listened, he learned, he didn't need any more explanation. All right, so be careful or be attentive to this type of students because they're going to be challenging to you. You need to have extra work for them, maybe extra material for them, but it has to do listening material. Okay? So far so good? Am I going too fast or it's okay? It's good, okay. What about the reading, writing style, Jessica?
These learners process information most often presented in a written language format. They benefit more from teachers that use Blackboard. They recall information from their mind's eye. Many academics have a strong preference for this learning style.
Yeah, they love watching the sentences in the board, not images. That's visual. I'm talking about words on the board, the structures, formulas, and that is the preferred style for teachers. Why? What do you think? No? Any guess?
Can you repeat it, please?
This type of style is the most preferred for teachers. Gabi?
Because these teachers are cool.
Well, cool, you mean?
They don't want to work.
Ah, yes, exactly. They collect teachers. Very good. Thank you. They are lazy. It's the easiest. Walk into the classroom, write 10 sentences on the board, copy them. It doesn't require preparation, really. No need for images, no need for what you need that for the teacher. And this type of a style, they don't need images, they just need words. Don't do that, okay? It's, I mean, it's fine, but it's not all of it. There are many styles or different styles. Gabi.
Thanks, teacher. These kind of teachers only need to cover the hour and they need the money. That's right. They don't want the students speak English.
Very good. And they even tell you, right? Pues mira, yo voy a apuntar y ustedes saben si apuntan o no y ustedes saben si aprenden. I had teachers like that. Y yo era de los que sí contestaba. Entonces, ¿para qué está aquí, maestro? Y siempre me mandaban a dirección, ¿no? Y esto me conocían. Otra vez tú, pues, ya llegué. Okay, so don't do that. I mean, it's fine. It's okay, but it's not all of it. Include all the learning styles in it, please. And finally, the kinesthetic tactile learning style. Case left, read it, please. Is that? Yes.
These learners process information actively through physical means. All of it?
Yes, please.
Okay. They like practice and simulation of the topics being studied. They, I don't know, when speaking. They are poor listeners. They lose interest in long speeches. As a result, they don't usually do well at school.
Very good. Gesture. Gesture means when you're talking with the hands, it's big, short, tall, short, etc., etc. So a tactile student, excuse me, they like practicing by touching or using their bodies, right? They don't really listen to you because they don't listen to words. They need to have something in their hands, okay? So you need to have props like in the picture, cutouts, scrabble the words, order the sentence, but they need to do it. They need to do it with their hands so they can be focused on it. You need to be very, again, pay attention to this type of students because they are going to cause you problems because they don't like to listen. And it's not that they hate it or they're bad children. It's just, it's their nature. No, the ones that you see in babies, ven para acá y escúchame. And el bebé anda corriendo por todos lados, ¿no? It's because he's a tactile baby. It's a kinesthetic baby. They don't listen. I mean, they listen something, but they don't pay attention. Right? They need to have something. I have a friend that has a baby like that, and he has a peluche. It's creo que era un unicornio, creo. Solo caballo. Pero creo que era un unicornio, todo manchado ya. So when they needed for the baby to be seated, they sat the caballo. So the baby knew that she needed to sit. That's fine. So she grabbed the caballo and sit with the caballo on it. Because she was kinesthetic. Same thing happens in the classroom. You will have a student like, a ver, Jessica, pay attention. Y Jessica, ya sabes, la niña con la pierna cruzada, moviéndola para todos lados, con el cabello, that's very annoying. ¿Qué les pasa con el cabello? Así ya sabes, ¿no? That's their nature. So have them do something. Okay, let's make a collage. You cut the pictures. No, hombre, Jessica hasta se va a esmerar y hasta le hace así. ¿Por qué? Because she's focused. Obviously, the child that is writing skill or learning style, he will be like, ay, teacher, otra vez. No. You have to combine all of them, include all of the styles in your classroom. Vice versa. There will be a time that you need to write them on the board. Y Jessica así como que, qué flojera, yo lo hago, yo paso mis. Because she's a kinesthetic child. So you need to combine all of this. So pay attention to your students, what type of learning styles they have. So we have, now let's talk about practical exercises for each of the learning style. First, the visual learning style, Annie.
Yes. Learning strategies for this learning style. The visual learning style. Replace words with symbols or initials. Translate concepts into pictures and diagrams. Underline or highlight your notes or textbooks with different colors. Practice turning your visual bags into words. Make flashcards of key information with words, symbols, and diagrams.
Very good. Replace words with symbols. I love that one. Ya sabes, cuando estás corrigiendo un ensayo, un writing activity, yo sugiero, utilicen códigos. Circle is a mistake for spelling. Underline is a mistake for verbs or tenses of the verb. Double underline is preposition, blah, 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 blah. So when you do that, they look at the symbols and the students pay more attention. Okay? Change concepts into diagrams, mind maps, pictures, do color coding, etc. Flashcards, keywords, etc. The oral style, Jessica.
Attend lectures and tutorials. Discuss topics with your instructor and other students. Put summarized notes on tape and listen to them. Join a study group or have a study buddy. Tape record your lectures. When recalling information or solving problems, talk out loud.
Very good. So a person that is oral, you love to go to a discourse or lecturing, talking to other person about the subject. Tape record your lectures. That's very important. Use or make your students record themselves and then they listen to it. Now it's very simple, right? WhatsApp audio. Everybody has a WhatsApp. Record your audio, record the voice or note voice or whatever they call it in their cell phone. It's very simple now. Back in my day, we didn't have that. But now we have it, use it. So they can listen to their voice, their pronunciation, their grammar, etc. Okay? The reading is left.
The reading learning style. Write out important information again and again. Read your notes silently. Organize any diagrams into statements. Rewrite the ideas and principles in other words. Make flashcards of words and concepts that need to be memorized.
Very good. Listen to this. Write information again and again. Have you seen a notebook of a girl or a boy? Tiene sus notas y aparte tiene notas de las notas. Y luego aparte tiene notas de las notas de las notas. He is a writing style or learning style. Or in the laptop or the computer, lots of post-its. He also is a writing style. That's okay, it's part of nature, right? The kinesthetic tactile. Can you read it, Gabby? No, Paola.
Yeah, learning styles. The kinesthetic learning style. Sit near the instructor in classroom situations. Number 2, read out loud from your textbook and notes. Number 3, copy key points onto large writing surfaces. E.E, chalkboard or easel board. Number 4, copy key points using from word processing software. Next one, listen to audio tapes of your notes while exercising. Next, take information through field trials, laboratories, trial and error, exhibits, collections, and hands or examples. Next one, put real life examples into your notes summary. Next one, recall experiments and role play. Next one, use pictures and photographs that illustrate an idea.
Very
And
good.
the last one.
That's okay. The last one
Okay.
is an instruction. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Excellent. So the kinesthetic person loves to be seen, loves to be in the spot and be the attention of the group. So if you have a very kinesthetic, o como decía mi madre, tienes gusanos en el, bueno, have your student sit next to you so they can help you and he will feel useful. Listen to audio tapes while they're exercising, or listen to Spotify, or do a lot of role plays, use pictures, go into field trips, laboratory, I don't know, something that they have to move and touch. All right, good. Let's take a break. And then a coffee break and pee break. And it's, yes, Gabby, you raise a hand, yes.
Yes, I'm okay. I need to give you, all of you, an apologize because I take care of my mom. He's sick and he wakes up later. That's why I'm not 100% with you.
No
Please
worries, miss. No worries, miss. I understand, and thank you for telling us, okay? In case you leave, I understand that you have something. I understand because I take care of my dad too, and it's an honor, but it's also, you know, you have to take care of him. Good, all right. So it's, what time is it? 11:15, yes, so we go back to 11:30. All right, see you here 11:30. Ready, guys?
Yes, I'm here.
Good. Let's do an activity, an exercise 4. Huh? Exercise 4. Adapting for different learning styles. Have individual students, one of you, pick one topic and give them time to prepare a 5-minute class, adapting to each. Okay, very good. All right. Let's see. What we're gonna do is you need to do a vocabulary or grammar. Let's do vocabulary. It's easier. For each of the learning styles, what activity you would do for vocabulary? Again, what activity you would do for each of the learning style for vocabulary? Give an example. Tactile. Okay, guys, cut. Here's the magazine. Cut the words that are on the board. The oral, repeat vocabulary. The writing, reading, the style. Write the words, copy the words on your notebook. See my point? Okay, so what activities you would do for each of the learning style for vocabulary, let's say. Okay, you have 5 minutes. You wanna do you wanna do this in pairs? Let's see, 2. Okay. Team number 1, Annie, Kinesthetic, and no. Annie and Kinesthetic. Team number 2, Gabby, Paola, and Jessica.
Here I am because in another telephone I don't have battery.
I'm sorry, I was on a phone call. What happened? Gaby? Annie, Kinesthetic, you finished?
Yes.
Good, let's give it 1 minute for everybody to finish. All right, so we're back. So we listen to Annie and Kinesthetic.
Yes, teacher. Kiss, if you want, I say the visual and oral. Yes.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Well, for visual, we choose to the instruction match the pictures with the vocabulary. They see the pictures and they match with the words in the vocabulary. And for oral, we think, for example, on the topic about animals, the instruction is listen the sound and circle the correct word according to that sound.
Okay, and then we have reading, writing, and they have to read a description and then write the correct word. We thought about maybe a job, description of a job, and then they have to write the actual job. And for kinesthetic, we have like a mimic dictionary. So they have to mimic the word, maybe the animal, maybe a word or something like that.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. Bravo. All right. What about Gabi, Paola, and Jessica?
Okay, we talk about different apps because with the pandemic situation, we have to use the technology. So there are three kind of apps that you can find very easy and download from your cell phone or your computer if you want to. That is in Play Store. So three of these are free. One of them, the name is Who Am I? If you want to look for that in Spanish, is ¿Quién soy yo? And with this app, you can use different situations in English. Could be intelligences in grammar, in vocabulary, in listening, writing, speaking. But we use most of the time in vocabulary, different vocabulary levels, different levels. And how we are going to use it in classes is very easy. Previously, you have to do a kind of list of vocabulary, probably if you want to, from animals. And then in class, before you use the app, you can ask to the students if they remember the vocabulary from animals. So they start speaking, try to avoid to speak more, try to speak to avoid, well, not to speak, sorry, to avoid speaking in class. The most important here is that the students speak more than you. So when you use the app, of course, you have to download on your cell phone. One of the students must to use it in putting on his or her head, and the rest of the group, or you can divide it in small groups, can ask or can give a kind of a vocabulary piece, something like that, in order the students guess what vocabulary is telling. So they practice a lot of vocabulary, not just vocabulary about animals. The second app that is going to be Spell It is also used in English, of course, but this, in my own opinion, is used for basic level, that is Spell It. This kind of application or app, you can use it when the student try to speak or try to avoid a lot of speaking errors. And this app helps you to recognize how to write it in the correct form and how to pronounce in the correct form. So you can work with them at the same time. The apps, you can use it a lot of time because it has a lot of vocabulary in different levels, as I told you. And the last app is from ESL. This application also is free. And with this application, we can practice a lot of reading. So you can put it in different levels from reading. And also there are type recorders. So you can listen and practice listening. At the end, the students would learn the different ways from learning English: grammar, listening, speaking, and reading. And with writing, sometimes I can just put it the app, put it the sound only, without anybody see what in the screen appears, and they try to guess which is the word that is saying mentioned. And I check it if they write it in the correct form or if they understand what the listening says.
Very good. Very good. Maybe you can have, you can send us the names over the chat. So we
Yeah.
Can
Yeah. I am going to write it right now. Wait
Good.
a little bit.
Very good. So now we have an idea, right, of what the different styles we have, no? The writing, the listening, the reading and the stuff. Okay, no? Very good. And to finish the topic, we have the study language. How do we present the content? We can say the language study is the case, as in this case, focuses on the structure and use of language form. We can use these concepts to teach the morphology of forms, the syntax of phrases, clauses, and sentences, vocabulary, including mechanical and lexical grammar, pronunciation, and spelling. ¿Sale? Todo lo que tenga que ver con language study. Let's see the different techniques. The number one, the demonstration. Annie, can you read it?
Yes. Here the teacher presents a situation which shows the language in action and they modeling the language ourselves. I read the points.
Yes, please.
The language can be used in a text which clearly shows that what it means. We can also use picture of various items of realia to demonstrate meaning. Example, warm up at the beginning of the class.
So this is one technique to teach the demonstration. It could be body language or could be verbally. You give an instruction of an activity and then you do the activities to show them what to do. No, for example, okay, guys, choose the right answer. I'll give you an example. Blah, 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 blah. That's a demonstration. Okay. Explanation. Can you read this case left?
We can explain the construction of language in diagrams using the board or overhead projector. We can also use finger pointing to show how contractions are made. Avoid Spanish at all cost.
Explanation is the easiest of the techniques to explain, obviously, but it's the minimum that you should do. You're not in an English class, you're not given a cátedra, you're not given the choro, right? So if you keep it simple, like in the picture, this is a real picture of a real teacher that I had many years ago that worked for me. So you can see, she's not given a cátedra, she's not given the choro, she's given a very simple explanation. Because what happens if you extend your explanation?
You get confused. You get confused. You have a lot of mistakes, vocabulary mistakes. Probably you mix up in your own ideas. So it happens a lot of things. That's why I try to avoid to speak a lot.
Yes, mistakes, errors, confusion. Gabi, you raise your hand.
Avoid, the students avoid, they don't pay attention.
The students are bored, they don't pay attention, chaos, the apocalypse in your class, anarchy, and so forth. And very importantly, teachers, if you plus everything that we have mentioned, if you extend your explanation, you will end up speaking Spanish because you want to transmit all of it, and it's impossible. Not that you don't have the competence in English. It's impossible because they don't have, your students don't have the English competence. They're students. So you need to make it simple. Explanations are simple, almost like me, Tarzan, you, Jane, if you want to. But simple. The students don't need choro. The students don't need very fancy words. ¿Cómo dice en español? Palabras rebombinantes, ¿o cómo es? Something like that. No need that. Simpler the better. Yes, Gaby.
The correct word is rimbombantes.
Rimbombantes, thank you. You don't need that. Students don't need that. I don't even know if you have those in English. I don't. I'm very knack on English. So, but you need to make it simple for your students. No choro, okay? So see the picture. She's making a very simple explanation. That's the important thing. Then, discovering. Read this, Paola.
Studying language, discovering. Students could be encouraged to understand new language by discovering by themselves in a text or by looking at grammar evidence in order to work out a grammar rule.
Very good. This technique is very good if you have two premises. Number one, if you are well prepared, and I mean well prepared with lots of pictures, lots of visual aids, lots of activities, material, etc. And your students are paying attention. If you don't know well prepared and your students are not paying attention, this doesn't work. Okay. I don't know if you with Harmon Hall product, right? Harmon Hall was especially for this. He was very good at it. They had a classroom full of flashcards and they do a lot of talking, and then the student like, ya entendí por qué. That's discovering. Así de, por eso decía el maestro. That's discovering. It's good if you have the time, if you have the preparation enough, not your competence. I mean, if you prepare your class enough and the students are paying attention. So, well, you know, I know, Paola, you're in a public school, right?
Yeah, and it's very difficult to work. And most of the time in pairs. It's better to work with small groups, but anyway, you have to work.
Yeah, it's difficult for you guys. You have groups of 56. I mean, you just can't. Okay, that's a whole different story. But
Yeah.
I mean, that the ideal is the smaller groups, blah blah blah. But you know, I understand. We live in a third world country. Okay.
Yeah, when the groups are bigger, we use a kind of book, but that book is done by us. So we can call it like anthology. Yeah, because most of the public schools didn't want to pay from books from editorial. I mean, they don't want it. So you have to do your own material as a teacher. So you have to learn to divide your own material in the different kind of things that you want to use in class for semester or for the year. I don't know, but you have to do your own material.
You do anthologies, right?
Yeah, anthologies. That's why I use a lot of apps.
Yeah, it's easier.
Yeah.
Good, very good. Okay, so again, if you the other side of the coin, you know, Annie has Harmon Hall experience when Harmon Hall was good. Not now, but way back before it was very good, because they had groups of 5 or 6 students, and the teachers were trained to have this technique. Don't mention any grammar and have everybody discover it. And I know because I used to be English, ¿cómo se llama? ¿Cómo le llamaban? Teachers trainer. Used to be teachers trainer for Harmon Hall teachers. Anyways, next one. Accurate reproduction. Can you read this, Jessica? I don't know if you're here.
Teachers ask students to repeat new words, phrases, or sentences in a controlled way, correcting them immediately and modeling for them.
This is, remember the drill number 1, the mechanical drill? This is the mechanical drill. A very controlled way, many control activity, mostly modeling or mostly repeating what the teacher says. Okay. Number 2 drill. immediate creativity. Can you read it, Paola?
Yes. In immediate creativity, once the students have an understanding of the meaning, use, and construction of the language form, we can ask from the create their own sentences using the language form.
Very good. So you have a semi-mechanical activity. It's not just repeating, but maybe fill in the blanks, choose the correct word. No, they will use their own creativity to start answering. And finally, the questions. Can you read it, Annie?
Yes. Check questions. We can use check questions to see if students have understood meaning and use. Comprehension questions after grammar presentation on the board.
It doesn't have to be a quiz. Eh? Remember that we talk about the lesson plan, there must be an evaluation. But it doesn't have to be a quiz or a formal exam. Only a question or evaluation for you to see if your students actually learn it. Don't ask them, because if you ask them, they will say yes. Do you understand? Yeah. Questions? No. And in the exam, ¿cómo era, miss? So, very maybe a role play, maybe a conversation task, maybe something that will tell you as a teacher, that the students actually got the point or not. If they got the point, very good. If they didn't, well, then you need to go back and reinforce whatever you are teaching. All right, very good. Let's say the exercise 5, that is going to be homework. Hold on a second. Okay, yes. Let me. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Paola. We received the name of it. It's in the chat if you can check it.
Yes. You're welcome.
Okay, everybody's no, wait. Así no era. No, así. Is everybody watching exercise 5 on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So it says present. This is homework, okay? Presentation of a new language for a group. The students, o sea, you introduce new vocabulary grammar, applying the logical sequence or the different types of demonstration, explanation, etc. It should be individually, and there's going to be a feedback afterwards. So what is homework? You're going to prepare a vocabulary presentation or a grammar presentation, it's up to you. And then you're going to, wait for it. You're going to, wait a minute. Yes, you're going to apply one of these techniques, or all of them, it depends. Demonstration, explanation, discovery, mechanical drill, semi-mechanical drill, and the questions. Okay, so what's homework, Annie?
We need to prepare a vocabulary presentation using the techniques, some of them or all, as we want, and we can choose the topic, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, I suggest I'll use all of them, because just maybe one activity per technique, so you can have a practice all of them, especially the questions, the explanation, and demonstration. Okay. All righty then. Yes, case left. You understand question? I mean, you understand the homework?
Yes, I think. Grammar vocabulary presentation using the techniques.
Using what?
The techniques that you did.
Yes. The demonstration or the, you know, the explanation or questions or whatever. Okay. Good. Gabby, you raise your hand.
Excuse me, teacher. Could you put the
We
homework?
can hear you very well.
Do you hear me?
So that's okay. Go ahead.
I write it on the chat.
Okay, you're next. Okay, good. All right, very good. Okay, so if it's not any other question, let's call it a day. So you can start preparing for your class or, you know, for your homework. Is there any questions today's class?
No.
No, okay. Yes, Annie.
We're going to present our presentation vocabulary here in the class or with a group?
Yes, in the class,
Here in the class. Okay. Yes, thank you.
Very good. Okay, so let's turn your cameras on so we can take a selfie. ¿Quién se fue? Jessica, no. Kinesthetic. Ah, se fue Kinesthetic. Bueno, okay. Turn the cameras on. Jessica. Jessica, your camera. Thank you. 1, 2. Very nice. Okay, let's check, Gabby, could you give me the homework on the chat? Yes, I'll send you the homework on the chat. Good. Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend. And I'll see you guys during the weekend.
See you.
Yes,
Bye.
thank you. Bye.
Bye.